Good afternoon, evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Schmoe Me the Money, here for another Book of Boba Fett discussion. Joined by two buddies here, Matty Gunner and Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Someone else tweeted it and made that joke, and I was like,
it was Jesse.
It was Jesse that made that joke.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. I'm not. I didn't want to claim it as my own joke. Fuck you, Matt. You want an invite? Fine. I'll send you a fucking link, you piece of shit.
Yeah. If Matt wants to come on, Matt can come on.
Yeah, I'll send him a link so he can just sit here and complain.
It's not like Matt doesn't have his own Star Wars show on his own channel that he could do.
Sure.
Yeah, damn, man. No invite to your thing? Yeah. Okay, actually.
Yeah.
I was working.
I know. No one ever invites me to.
And now he's like, I was kidding.
Other than you guys invite me to stuff.
Of course, because we love Matty Gunner. The amazing Matty
Well,
Gunner.
hold on. Let's clarify. Buck invited Matty.
Okay, that's fine.
Man, I don't. Toby has a show. Isn't it your channel? Isn't that what I've heard?
Yeah, bitch.
I love how we're spending this time talking to Matt in the chat when Matt could just click the link and we could talk to him on.
Well, here's the thing. I'm enjoying the shit talking, and I gotta be honest, I'm enjoying it more than today's episode. I was kind of very bored by it today.
Wow.
I was bored. I thought that it was a little silly.
Huh?
I thought it was a little silly, and whatnot. But I gotta tell you, man, I was not paying attention. It couldn't keep my interest today.
You thought
I
the
wasn't
show
locked
set
in
space with a bunch of aliens and stuff was silly?
Hey, Kiwi, thanks for
Hi,
stopping
Jess.
by.
Hello.
Hi, Geoff.
What is it? I mean, the best half-hour sci-fi series that I watched this week wasn't even Book of Boba Fett. It was watching watching an old episode of Red Dwarf because I signed up for BritBox.
That's fair.
What did you sign up for?
BritBox.
BritBox.
I've never heard.
If you want to watch some actual television with culture, watch.
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
Apparently, British people are the only people with culture. You fucking
Apparently.
swine, Matty.
I mean, we invaded every other country, so it's like we took.
Yeah, and you
else's
lost
culture.
most of the time in the end. So,
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, you just left a little something. But
Yep.
But no, I mean, I enjoyed this episode. It was great.
Mm.
I just want to get to my favorite part. It's.
Are we just gonna skip right through?
what was your favorite part? Was it the Mario Kart racing?
No, it was not the Mario Kart. It was when Boba is in the back to tank and he just gets fucking ripped out. I was like, oh shit, this shit's getting real.
Mm.
Dude got his back cracked so bad.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the thing that basically
I
saved
could
his
have
life
used that. Him
was
doing the
not
old
any
bit
of
underneath
his
him.
Mandalorian armor or gear. It was the weapon he got from the Tusken Raiders.
Based on the history of Boba Fett and the things we know, do you think that before today, Boba Fett's ever had his back blown out like that?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. He probably a couple of Twi'leks here and there, maybe.
Definitely not a Tusken Raider. Not after today.
Yeah, not after today.
Did Tusken Raiders even do that?
I looked at he was riding whatever, what was it, a bantha or whatever. Yeah. I looked down at my phone, I look up, and the whole camp is burned. I'm like, did I miss something?
Yeah. And it's funny, me and Matt were actually talking about this earlier. We probably could have done with one more episode with the Tuskens. I feel like they did this a little bit too soon.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's over.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be he goes off to get his armor and then comes back and it's all burned. We've talked about it. Everyone who's talked about the show has had this feeling that it's going to happen, but I didn't know if it would be this soon. We didn't see the warrior. We saw the elder. We saw the leader and the child. So I think maybe the warrior got out. I think we're going to see the Tuskens again, probably not till the end.
Is the warrior the one with the long dread type?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, look, I know I'm being condescending on it. Like, I didn't totally hate it. I wasn't locked in
I know.
on anything that happened today. Paulina's review was that it was her least favorite. She was pretty bored by it, and as of right now, she doesn't care about Boba Fett as a character, based on what they've done so far. Other than he was a cool guy, but like give
7 or 6 episodes.
7
7.
episodes.
So we have 4 left.
Yes, I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Glad you know math.
7 take away 3.
God, I wish I could block him out of here, but he.
Anyways, so Matty, like what
And
was
he
your
freaking
favorite
does
part
that,
of the episode? Matty, what was your favorite part of the episode?
My favorite part of the episode probably was, well, I mean, you have like the small moments that I really loved, like Machete being canon in Star Wars now. Machete kills again in space.
Trejo, I was like, that's Dan. Oh, let's go. I'm like,
All
I
right,
mean,
all right,
it
hold
is
on,
Robert
hold on.
Rodriguez. It is. Robert
They didn't
Rodriguez.
call him Machete.
I know.
It's Machete.
It's not canon that it's just Danny Trejo, but you can make the argument that he is always Machete.
Yeah. And
I think I saw some theory that like almost every single one of his roles, you could literally make it canon that he is.
and
Well,
what,
I mean,
what
that's
was,
what Robert Rodriguez does. Half his roles, he just like was like, yeah, it's all Machete.
and what was the other? You had Stephen Root as well as
Stephen
the
Root. I like
Warmonger.
Stephen Root. I always like Stephen Root, so I enjoyed seeing him pop up. And like Danny Trejo though, as a Rancor trainer,
Yeah,
feels
right.
kind of perfect.
Mm.
Like, what a badass job.
It's like the imprint on the first human they see. I was like, oh my god, that's cool. That's amazing. I didn't know.
FCL Star Wars champion Brennan Marr in the chat.
Hello,
Brennan,
Brennan.
thanks
Hello.
for stopping by, my man.
But it's like, what? Yeah, me and Brandon probably have a similar favorite. I actually did enjoy the chase through the streets of Mos Espa because, as my thing says, those speeder bikes were essentially Vespa scooters. That's why they were slow, because they looked like just little, Italian like Vespa.
They were absolutely little Vespas. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
between Luca last year and Book of Boba Fett now, Disney is all in on Vespas.
Exactly. Like, how long is it going to be before we go to fucking Disney World and like you can hire a Vespa to just like ride around on?
Exactly.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
They were very brightly colored.
They were.
Yes, and I saw some people
designed-
saying it was basically the Power Rangers. Like they all had bright colors.
Yep.
They were bright colors. They were like, it looked almost like their designs were kind of fun because they were both like, oh, they're futuristic, like floating Vespas, but they're also like with the way the chrome is laid on them and the color and whatnot, they all look like classic, almost like pieces of classic car design. So it's funny. It's that clash of the new and the old, which is what so much Star Wars seems to be. Like the old technology stuff versus that. I mean, like it looks like if there was a sci-fi version of George Lucas's American Graffiti, that people would have been riding those things around.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
that's probably, they probably did think about that because obviously it is Lucas. They're probably like, what if we put them in? And
of
it's
course they did.
like,
Filoni's like Lucas's best friend as far as people.
Oh yeah, he's the heir apparent. He's the next in line after George. Hopefully nothing happens to George, but if anything ever does,
I don't know what that mean. What do you mean? What do you mean by the next in line? Because
he'll be the one to like
the picture.
Yeah, but he still has like creative input. Like
he has whispers of maybe this, maybe that. As you've seen with so much stuff,
but those whispers
his
are
creative
very important.
input doesn't really.
Yeah, but those whispers are very important. Like everyone goes off of what it's like. What would Jesus do? What would George do?
Soon it's gonna be what would Filoni do?
What would Filoni do? He's the next
Wear
one
a
up.
cowboy hat.
Wear a cowboy hat and look damn good in it.
And make 8,000 pieces of media all centered around Ahsoka, probably.
What would you do if he wore a top hat instead of a cowboy hat?
I don't mock him for the top hat.
I mean, like, what do you wear? No one wears top hats. Like,
no
cowboy hats, at least, Not a lot of people wear them, but oh my god, if I just looked at your name.
Boba's blown back.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my
Yeah.
ADD.
Yeah, like the fight. I can't even pronounce that word.
Black
Chrysanthemum?
chrysanthemum.
The black chrysanthemum fight. Yeah, that fight was amazing. Boba got his his back blown out in it.
I appreciate
And then he comes
stuff
downstairs, and you know it wasn't you know that it did just the right trick because he got out of there. He was struggling right afterwards. He was able to walk downstairs in his fucking robe, like he was done. He looked like he was either soaking wet or sweaty after that. You don't know what happened. He should have just pulled out a cigarette and lit it up. He was good for the night.
Yeah, it's the fact that it was so sudden as well. Like he's in the dream. And like when it opened up at first, I was like, "Oh, why are they opening it up without draining it?" Oh shit! And it's literally Black Chrysanthemum with his fucking hands around his neck, ripping him out, throwing him around the room like a rag doll. And Tamora Morrison's a big dude, so to watch like a big guy just get thrown about like that, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like he's in
pretty good shape for his age too.
Oh, he's in fantastic shape.
One thing that I'm curious about is, so it's like, does he just go in the back to tank and heal literally every night when he goes to bed? Does he have a bed? Does he have a bedroom, or does he just sleep in a tank every night?
I think
because how healed can you possibly be?
I think part of it for the show of what we're talking about here, I think he probably does just sleep in the tank. Maybe has some kind of like Bacter addiction or whatever. But I think part of it, if I'm going into the themes of it all, I think he's still clinging on to that old part of himself. And he's like torn between the two of who he is now and who he was. Because whenever he goes in the Bacter tank, he has the dreams. So he's like, it's that comfort, that familiarity that he's constantly going back to.
Yeah, it's that joke that Jesse had on Twitter there, where
Back to the Future.
Yeah, every time he's in the Bacta tank, and then when he gets up, and when he's about to wake up, and the flashback is over, it's Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Very clever, very clever.
One thing I did
need to come in the chat and say, "How dare you, Geoff? How dare you?"
I'll time him out.
One thing I did notice was when Boba told when he said tell Fennec to suit up. I was like, when is she never not suited up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's always in her gear.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was like,
she's like always in the same outfit, ready to go. At least today we saw Boba in just underwear.
Yeah. I like the robe too. It wasn't too classy. You know, he's fitting into the Daimyo role, but like he's still keeping it street level. You know, he turned away the big feast. He's like, I don't want any of that. Even I love that his first act, he's taking the kids off the streets, man. Like he's doing what a lot of politicians don't
Boba
do.
Fett next. I'm telling you, man, when Boba Fett invests in a community center, then I'll know that this show has made it.
That's exactly. I mean, Jabba's palace was. We saw the Bomar monk at the start. It was like the little spider creature that carries the brain.
He's gonna be hosting like mommy and me classes, and he'll have a basketball court. Like, you know, hey guys, come here. Let's do community service. Make sure you don't do anything like wrong.
So his palace
Get these
was
kids
a temple.
off these streets.
That Jabba's palace was a temple. So he's essentially taking the kids off the streets and putting them into like a temple. So he's giving them, you know. He's giving them things to do. He's giving them community work to do. Obviously, charging 1,300 credits for water was fucking ridiculous. Like that dude needs to sort his prices out. Like, what the hell?
It's funny. The one thing that I didn't know that like, you know, maybe it's you know, the person who grew up in the land of capitalism that made me think this. But it's like, all right, cool. How much water did they steal though? Right. It wasn't like one single bottle of water equals 1,300 credits, right? Like that would be absurd, probably. So, and then it's like you think about how much water was destroyed, and then think about the fucking car chase later on, and when they're doing that, and like things keep falling, including all these giant tanks of water on top of houses. Like, how much water do you think that was destroyed? And because of the mayor's Major Domo, which is definitely a weird title. Major Domo.
Oh, I mean, you got, what's it? Daimyo. Daimyo. That's like that's the Japanese word for like warlord or like gang, whatever the the Don or whatever is. That's the old like they used to use that like back in like feudal Japan kind of. But yeah, and it's like what is the biker gang said, oh, he charges us a month's wages for a week's worth of war. It's like, well, what are you getting paid? Like, maybe you need to, go back to school, learn a better skill set, get a high paid job. Does your job offer a 401k? Like, what? Why are you earning so little? But Boba's now taking them off the streets, which I think is very good. I'm all for politicians and community service and community centers opening up extracurricular activities for kids. And Boba's doing that. He's serving his community. And it seems that the mayor, this watermonger, all the rich people, they're not. I mean, it kind of does speak to the dynamic of real life of the rich people being like, we want it done a certain way that benefits us. And everyone underneath, fuck them.
Question. So during the fight it's Chrysanthemum
or BK, or I think some people call him Santi, which I'll never call a grown anything Santi.
I want to call him BK. The fact that Boba didn't kill BK after he kind of gave him back to the huts. Do you think he'll come back and eventually join his crew?
I think he might come back at the end.
At the very least, set it up as a sort of, if not ally, then enemy of my enemy is my friend, where he might assist in some way for something at some point.
Because it looks like the big bad is the Pikes.
Yeah, he even said, he was like, it's nothing personal. It's just business. Like, he gets it. He knows. Like, he's done the same thing countless times. So he was just like, you know what?
He's only ever once had his back blown out.
Only ever once had his back blown out.
The one time.
I wonder what getting your back cracked by a Wookiee feels like.
Probably hurts like
we
hell.
Saw. Really? Because he looked fine afterwards.
Like, he was in a robe. He was walking fine. Like, Wookiees might have a future in whatever the title.
What I liked in that fight though was when he got picked up. So the first thing he did, I was like, what is he going to do? Is he going to punch him? He's going to stab his thumbs in his eyes? No, he boxed his ears in or something like that.
I was screaming at my TV. Well, not screaming, but I was like saying on my TV, headbutt him. Because that's the first thing you do. Like, your arms are there, just headbutt the guy.
But, I mean, boxing the ears is a pretty solid move, too.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, because
throws all your equilibrium off, but...
Yeah. I mean, hey, it got him to drop at least. It didn't do that much, but, a big fucking muscular thing like that, who knows how much a headbutt would also do. So, whatever. It was in the moment, and if we've seen anything, it's that sometimes Boba Fett can be a badass. Other times, he kind of sucks.
Yeah,
he's kind of a bitch.
I mean, even the Gamorreans got their asses kicked. It's like they got freaking double clothesline down the stairs. I was like, oh damn, like they're fucked up. And then the entire gang. That's the one thing that did kind of annoy me was like they did make Chrysanthemum look a little bit like a bitch towards the end of the fight because he got beat up by a bunch of kids.
Right, but there were like 8 of them all hitting him at the same time.
He's a giant Wookiee.
Right, but like one of the things is one of his arms was like wrapped up in like an electric whip. I did
like that they showed his knuckle dusters because like in canon
those are cool.
Yeah, those are permanently attached to his hands.
Nice.
So like seeing those, I was like, damn, that's sick.
That's cool.
But I think the stuff with the Pikes was interesting. Now how like they're working with the mayor. I wonder if the mayor's
just gone.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a case of like the Pikes have promised the mayor power in return of like getting rid of the Tuskens. They're like, get them out the way, hire the Nikto, the Nikto biker gang, get the Tuskens out of the way. We'll run spies through and give you a cut and give you the power.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Hutts are gone now? Because they said they were gonna leave the planet.
Yeah, I think they're probably gone. They may come back towards the end.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think the Pikes are probably going to be the big bad. Maybe Crimson Dawn above them in like a post-credit scene. We see Emilia Clarke as Kiera. Like maybe she comes back for a little appearance.
That would be pretty cool.
By the end of the season,
Actually, she'd be a lot of. Could Amelia pull that off in terms of
she's still
age?
alive. She's still alive at this point.
But like age-wise, is it believable?
Yeah.
Yes, because Solo doesn't take place that long before before A New Hope. And it's not like an incredibly long period of time between the beginning of A New Hope and the end of Return of the Jedi. And this is all, we'll say 7. Let's just say there's been some extra time travel. Like we'll just say that between the beginning of New Hope to the end of Return of the Jedi, and then the 5-year gap plus some travel, let's say it's been 10 years or so, maybe a little more, maybe 10 to 15 years from that point to the end of Boba Fett. She could totally still do it without issue.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know how old she'll be at this time.
She would be whatever age they need her to play.
I mean, the woman never ages anyway. Like Emilia Clarke hasn't aged in however long, so it's not going to matter anyway.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say that over the course of Game of Thrones, she did age. Like she looked like a young girl, like I don't know, a girl in her teens at the beginning of Game of Thrones. So by the end, it was like she was an adult, I'd say. So she has aged, but then again, I'm also comparing
Hollywood
11 years ago versus like, movies 5 years. She's looked basically the same the last 5 years, sure. But also, yes, Hollywood. So like that's the reason why people like probably like Tom Cruise or Keanu or whoever like don't age. Or Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett is 60 years old. She still looks like she does when she's 20.
Right.
Or Ming-Na Wen.
Ming-Na Wen.
So,
Buck, how do you think Ming-Na Wen did in this episode? Seeing as you're our resident Ming-Na Wen correspondent.
No, I'm not. I'm just I was trying to find it. I was trying to find it before I was going to say anything.
You're just a fan, huh?
Just a fan. Yeah.
The moment she got out there and she just she grabbed that blade out of her rifle to throw into his hand, like that exact moment, Buck just right at the screen.
That's another thing. Like he was standing above that. Crescento was standing above that pit. I wonder if he knew that the Rancor wasn't down there.
But also, the pit though. That's just a grate. That's nothing. He happened to stand. Everything's covered in sand and stuff, and he coincidentally stood in front of on top of the one small square spot. By complete coincidence, that was the trapdoor.
It was very Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, like free bird seed here, and then the trap comes down.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm glad that they didn't obviously kill him at that point. I think he's kind of cool. I want to see more of him. Yeah. The chase was kind of silly. I think the actual car chase, it was kind of it was ridiculous. I mean, we got to see little bits of the tech that makes them all so much stronger or whatever, a little bit. And one of them is literally just a guy whose mechanical leg just goes like. I'm like, really? That's
a guy with a lighter in his hand.
Yeah, you're is it just a torch lighter? Is it a flamethrower? Like, what are you doing? And then one guy, his tech looks like he has a cyborg eye. That's it. He looks like he's wearing. He looks like he's wearing the headset that Deadshot wears in Suicide Squad.
I mean, quite a bit cooler. But I think I've seen that dude in Peaky Blinders. I know he's English, but I can't remember his name. It's Jordan something. He's pretty good in Peaky Blinders. Yeah, I did think the chase scene was a bit corny, but then I love corny. You guys know I love corny things. I really want the mayor's major domo to die. He's got to die at some point in this series. He's such a good shit weasel that I'm so sick of him already. He just annoys me the
I
way
can tell
he's
you
like.
right now. I think I mentioned it before. He played Julia Louis-Dreyfus's ex-husband on Veep.
Mm.
And he is just as much as a shit weasel in that show too.
He's just
very good at being a shit weasel.
He's such a passive aggressive little prick that
Mm-hmm.
I just want someone just to shoot him like right in the face and just fucking be done with him, because it's like it gets to a point like a scene of him will happen, and I'll just be sitting there like, oh fucking hell, not this guy.
You know, so he has a very punchable face.
He has a very punchable face, and that shows that he's doing his job very well.
He is. He's doing a phenomenal job. You're like, I hate this move.
Because like he was like, okay, let me move some less time sensitive meetings around for you. And then he goes in and he locks the door. I'm like, fucking course he locked the door. Like, you idiots. How could you let him just walk in there on his own? Like, why didn't you follow him in there? Like, it just shows that Boba, while he's still getting used to the crime lord role, he's still a bit of a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, there's still that.
He just
like,
is assuming that he's still in like the whole like assumption that like he just comes in, kills Fortuna, and that's it. And like Stephen Root came in and was like, yeah, no, that's not the case. I'm mad for you. No, he's not. He's not mad for him. He doesn't like that someone stole stuff. So he's just trying to get someone to do the work for him.
He even flat out said it. He was like, no one respects you.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
And then was it Matt Berry, who's like one of the funniest guys working today. Buck, I don't know if you know who Matt Berry is. Matty, do you know who Matt Berry is?
I know of a Matt Berry, but he does a different thing.
You're not thinking of Matt Perry, are you, Buck?
No, this is Matthew Berry.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with movies.
No, Matt Berry, he was in the IT Crowd, Toast of London. He's currently on What We Do in the Shadows. He's hilarious. And he voices oh my god, what's the name of that droid that's there in Jabba's palace?
8D8.
I think it's 8D8. Yeah.
8D8.
8D8. He's the one. What is it? It's like no one respects you. All right, it's time to leave. Like it really throws me off because the inflection that makes up Matt Berry's voice, he's like constantly speaks with such like an arch distinction to it that's like over the top constantly. So because everything he says is, even when it's not a joke, in anything I see him in, it can be like you can turn it into a punchline somehow just because of the way he said anything. So to hear his voice go through like a slight modulator and then he's just saying things. So for him to be like, all right, I think it's time to leave. I'm laughing to myself because it's Matt Berry saying it. It's distracting, actually, I think. Like,
and
I love that he's there, but he has a very great voice.
And then you've got Fennec, who just wants to kill everyone that comes into the palace. And Boba's like,
what is she doing? I'm trying to figure out what her point is other than unstable bodyguard.
People. Yeah, that's what she is. She's just the master assassin Fennec.
What else is there's? I guess my thing is I need more to her character.
Yeah, and they are putting her in a lot.
Her just being the badass bodyguard person that sits there and is always like ready to kill. Cool. I want them to give a little bit more. I don't know, focus, something that gives her another layer to her. So that way it's not just like the same thing that she's doing every year. Yeah. Okay. So I realized that we didn't even touch on that there. The 20 years. Yeah. So I said like 15 years or so. I wasn't that far off. So yeah.
Amelia Clark 20 years will probably still look like Amelia Clark now.
Yeah. I think that Amelia Clark on the show, I think she'll be fine if she were to show up.
All right. Is it easier to make someone look older or younger, you think?
Younger. They've done it so many times.
Well, hold on. I think it depends because older involves a lot of makeup that you can put on that adds wrinkles or other stuff like that. Younger can also be makeup, but one thing that especially Disney is doing is
What's up, Nick Harley?
What's up, Nick?
I too was not a huge fan of it. But younger, a lot of stuff that Disney is doing now, as we just saw last season finale in Mando, they're doing it, and they did it in Rise of Skywalker. It was much more distracting in Rise of Skywalker. Now come on, that's just
jeez,
bro.
Come
on now.
No. Rise of Skywalker is actively bad. Like actively bad, harmful.
He's
to
a Browns fan. Like he is used to disappointment.
Geoff, you might want.
Aren't you a Diamondbacks fan?
That's not as bad as being a Browns fan.
Really? How many wins did you guys have this year?
It doesn't matter. Browns have been bad for like 20, 25 years.
Right. Did they ever go like 100 games without a win?
Well, it's two different sports.
We're gonna move on, anyways. So,
Geoff, you might want to message Nick, like tell him that someone's got a hold of his account, because there's no way that someone says that of their own free will.
Yeah, no one would actually want. The only people that watched Rise of Skywalker 10 times in a row were the people pretending to edit it.
Oh Jesus!
And also, where I come from, booty's a good thing. So, just saying.
It's just freaking derailing the episode right now.
It's treasure, right? Like when you find booty, like you find.
Well, I mean, then again, there are people that I mean, Matty is someone that likes to bring out like try to say like, no, there's good stuff in Rise of Skywalker. There's hardly any good things in Rise of Skywalker.
There's hardly, but there's some.
But there's some. He's the one who doesn't like the idea of talking bad on Star Wars because like all Star Wars is good Star Wars, and he's like, absolutely not. So,
I mean, yeah,
Sandy.
This episode,
anyways. They're on Tatooine, dude.
Of course, you're with Nick. You're always
in Ohio as well.
Episode with cheeks.
All right, so considering this episode didn't really do much other than like kind of move pieces a little bit. Now there's a Rancor. Come on, I wasn't a big fan of the episode. I like the Rancor. I like the Rancor stuff. I'm psyched about what Rancor stuff is going to happen.
I like that we got Danny Trejo with a Rancor.
Yeah.
The Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 3, American Colloquialisms. The Rancor though. The Rancor is pretty cool.
I liked his little nod to the Boba's little Easter egg about the holiday special.
You like that?
I thought it was funny. I mean,
you like that?
What Easter egg was it? I'm telling you, this episode did not hold my attention.
No. He basically said, "I've ridden on things 10 times larger than a Rancor,"
which is in the holiday special.
I never watched the holiday special because I don't know. There's too many hours in the day, right? I'm wrong. There's not enough time. So why would I fucking bother?
Okay, I know I'm the guy that like says there's something in like every Star Wars. There is nothing in the holiday special.
It's so bad.
Nothing.
I got a question. Have you ever all right? So I haven't watched this. I haven't watched the special, in its entirety from beginning to end. But I have watched probably a couple times in my life the Nostalgia Critic review of the holiday special. Have you ever watched that?
I haven't.
It's him going through recapping it and just tearing it apart as he recaps it. It's bizarre.
Is there anyone that likes it? I wonder if there's like anyone out there that could
I
actually
feel like
it.
Gold Leader would love it.
Wait. Well, Gold Leader likes anything that's dumb. He likes himself. So the
can he just like show up in the chat and be like, "What the hell?"
I love Evan. What is it? Northern Entertainment Group, which you guys should, if the four of you that watch this, you should make sure to go and subscribe to them. There was,
which I believe we have one of them in our chat.
Exactly, Kiwi there. They did a Star Wars holiday special trivia match.
I watched that. Yeah.
She's like,
Jess, you don't have to. I'll tell Gold Leader.
Yeah, Geoff will do it. Don't worry about it. Geoff will let him know.
By the way, speaking of Star Wars stuff, did you see Evan's reaction to Thomas's reaction?
Oh my god, I was dying. Like it was like 2 minutes in. I'm like, he hasn't reacted. I'm like, This is 7 minutes. Is he really gonna go 7 minutes? And as soon as it was over,
Without
like
saying a word.
you went 7 minutes with literally nothing. Literally said, "Oh my god."
I
Oh, jeez.
ugh.
That's how I feel after watching Evan's reaction video.
I will say that's probably like the crowning achievement of you guys like career as after show like analyst is like getting that feud and sparking up, because like I even commented, I was like, this match needs to happen in a Denny's parking lot.
The thing, well, hold on, we didn't start this feud. They did
I'm
this
giving you
feud on
credit.
their own.
Well, I'm giving
What?
you credit. I'm giving you guys
Well,
the credit.
Not taking credit for something that wasn't. We helped fuel that feud.
That's what I mean.
I mean, come on. The most amazing thing was what Harper when he defended his belt, and we had him on for his very first after show interview post spectacular, and he comes on triumphant, returning as the defending champion, and then the feuding man Go Leader also comes on, locked out of his own office, so he has to sit on his phone or whatever while he's unable to get in there. So.
What's up, Boom Blade? Thanks for stopping by, my man.
So, anyways, as you can tell, we've talked a handful of things about the show, but I don't know. It feels like
this episode was so short as well. Like I felt like it was like that.
It was 38 episodes it was 38 minutes with credits. So it was 38 minutes with credits as well as 2 minutes that was just recapping things. So it was about 30 minutes, I'd say.
But it felt like it went by so quick. I'm like, don't do one this short again.
We got 4 episodes left, so who knows?
Yeah. This, though, as far as episodes directed by Robert Rodriguez, this was the weakest of the 3 he's directed.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Did we get any Robert Rodriguez moments in this episode?
Other than Danny Trejo?
Yes, we did. We did. Do you know why? Because that Mario Kart sequence, I'm watching it and I'm like, why does this just feel like Alita Battle Angel in the daytime? So, like...
I saw Ace Cabrera tweeted out Alita Boba Angel. Yeah. And I was like, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
But
so, yeah, I think that just a stunning drop off in quality because Harley. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I don't feel anything towards it of any strong passion.
I feel like this episode I thought the Rancor to move stuff along because we've had all these flashbacks, we've had all this build up. Now, like, okay, we got 7 episodes. Let's move it along now. Let's just get it going.
Yeah.
Because we had the moment at the end where they see the Pikes arrive on Tatooine, everything's starting to kick off, and then Fennec says, you know, they're getting ready to go to war, and Boba says, we'll be ready. That's when they're like, oh shit, like, see, next episode is probably when things are gonna really start to kick off. We know Filoni has involvement in episode 6, so I think something big is gonna happen there because Filoni doesn't normally get involved unless it's something like huge or something's tying in.
Well, I disagree because Filoni also directed the Gunslinger episode of season 1 of Mando.
Yeah, but then that tied in with
episode.
Boba because that's when we saw Boba for the first time in the end.
You saw someone's boot. That's not anything. That's not a Filoni. That's not like, oh, well, Filoni's important because he was able to shoot the boot of someone come on frame. Like, I wouldn't go that far.
We did see Peli as well at the start of the episode with all the pit droids walk past. I completely missed it the first time, and the second time I was just like, eh.
I'm just saying it was the worst episode of both seasons of Mando. Excuse me.
Even more than episode 5 of season 1.
Oh no! I'm saying episode 5 of season 1, the Gunslinger.
Oh yeah.
That was Filoni. Filoni directed that one. That was the worst one. So I'm saying, like, just because he gets involved as a director doesn't necessarily.
No, I don't know. He didn't direct episode 6. He wrote it, which is what makes me think it's going to tie in with the.
Oh, he wrote episode 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that might be different. We don't know. I was just saying that he didn't direct the ones that he had a hand in directing.
Both actually. Episode 5 of season 1, he wrote and directed.
Well, no, he's talking about episode 6 of Boba, no.
Episode 6 of Boba, Filoni wrote. I don't think he's directed it, but I know he's written it. So that's what makes me think we're gonna get like a bigger event. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the Mandalorian, maybe Din Djarin and the Mandalorian shows up. I don't know.
What was the
I have no idea what to expect at this point.
What was the phrasing that I had heard? It's like you don't have to watch Mandalorian season 1 and 2 in order to watch Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett, but you have to watch Book of Boba Fett in order to watch Mando season 3.
So I think the Mandalorian will show up at some point, or
maybe we'll see.
Maybe the Empire will get involved somehow towards the end. I don't know. After seeing the Tuskens get fucking diced, decimated? I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So, Jon Favreau wrote all of them. Then Episode 6 he co-wrote with Filoni.
Where are you seeing this? Is this on IMDb? Where are you looking at this?
Well, I went to Wikipedia and then I went to the actual source, not just going off the Wikipedia entry.
Oh yeah, where it says here 7. All of them are written with Jon Favreau, are written by Jon Favreau, and then he co-wrote the 6 with Dave Filoni. And Filoni is a director, so he probably directed Episode 6 too.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it
is sea level. It is definitely sea level.
Harley, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it as always,
so much, man.
Appreciate you, boo.
We are going to get you back on the channel eventually, preferably.
Please do.
Preferably.
That episode's fucking hilarious.
I love that episode. It was like the last.
You think we're ever going to do that shit again? You think we're ever going to do a panel again?
With Nick?
Here's what's happening. We're spinning wheels here. Why don't we wrap this up? So
let's wrap and we'll.
Yeah. Always wrap it up, man. Stay safe, Matty.
Unless you're Shug, which he doesn't believe in that.
Wow.
It's all right. It's all right. Shug's all about people getting their back blown out. So, Matty, what are you up to?
You guys can find me Mondays, 12:30 PT, 8:30 my time. I think 3:30 Eastern.
Yes.
God, I'm finally getting. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. You can find me over there doing Scoundrels, talking movie news with POD and Richard Eric Jarvie. You can find my band, Shadow of Azrael. It's pretty heavy music, so I understand if a lot of people don't like it or hate it. You can tell me I suck. I'm completely fine with it.
Don't they use your music for the intro on Scoundrels? Did I hear that right?
That's not Shadow of Azrael music, though. We just wrote the song together. It's not a song of ours, but yeah, you can find me there, and you can find me Thursdays and Sundays on the Wild Giants Podcast Network for the Outcasts and Underdogs MMA show, talking MMA, boxing, kickboxing, blah blah blah, all that stuff that people, watch.
Yeah, and Brandon and I, we're here.
Find me here. Also, don't forget to follow the show's Twitter, Schmoe Money. We keep fluctuating at 200. We're back down to 199. So if you're going to follow, please stay following. Please.
Yes.
It would be nice.
Subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to this channel.
Like and comment.
Do something eventually with it.
Did you see Mike's comment?
Do you mean the Twitter? What? Which
comment? Mike's comment on last week's video. It was hilarious. But the thing is, you won't get it because it's football related, but I got it.
Geoff is the Joe Judge of YouTube hosts. No, I did not. I don't know who Joe Judge is. Clearly, it's not a good insult if he's going to make.
No, I loved it, and I know, and that's all that matters. I love it.
Right, but if he wants it to be an insult, then he needs me to recognize it as an insult. To me, it's like I don't know what that means, so I couldn't give a shit.
Plus I thought football was a game you played with your feet. Not a
they
game
do play with their feet.
No. That's football. We're talking about football.
No, that's football.
No, it is also football in the UK, dude.
Football. Whose language, Buck? Whose language are we speaking?
Shut up.
The King's English.
There we go.
Everyone,
and I'm the king, so it's my English.
We appreciate everyone for tuning in.
Like all of a sudden, I'd be trying to prove that I'm not